ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, Lenovo Legion, Xfinity, ESCA, Pay Safeguard, Mountain Dew League, Logitech G, and Zowie.
All right, guys, we're here with Zeus, the coach for Team Liquid, and it has been a tough one on Nuke. What just happened?
Well, it was a rough match. We lost the pistol in a devastating fashion. We started slowly. We tried to outplay them instead of playing our own game, and it came into an unexpected scenario, but we're going to fix it now.
Well, we're going into Mirage. We just saw Twist firing on all cylinders. We got JDM not far behind him. What needs to happen on Mirage for you guys to pick up the W here?
So we need to get out of our own heads first. It doesn't matter if you lose 16-14, 16-0, 16-2, with whatever. It's come back and come into the next match and just go strong. This time we're going to play our game, and I guarantee you we're going to do better, and we're going to take this.
All right, I hear you. Well, good luck to you. Good luck to Team Liquid, and let's root for the home crowd out there, Dallas.
Gotta love that thought process out of Zeus. Doesn't matter if you win 16-0 or 16-14, or if you lose, I should say, 16-0 or 16-14, it's still a loss. Move on from this, focus on the next map. You want a silver lining?
When you lose 16-0, sucks. Ask Chad.
Yeah, happened twice.
Was it worse the first time or the second time?
I don't, probably the first.
If you want a silver lining, though, what we can't say is Liquid in the quarterfinals against Envy lost the opening map in the series, went on to win it. So at least they have some experience coming back in a series. Yeah. Really reaching for my North American boys, aren't I? Either way, Mirage, I mean, this is a map that we mentioned in the map veto phase that Liquid's going to be happy with this because they can play all three of these maps to a decent degree. I mean, at least this is not a map that they're just completely lost on.
It's in their map pool, and it's, you know, which is weird to say because of how weak it is, but at the same time, I'm definitely going to favor North going into this one off the bat. I haven't seen a lot of Liquid on this map, whereas I've seen a lot of North in the regular season, right? And they've actually adapted and changed things on their CT side since the regular season. They addressed that there are a few issues that they need to change up roles, and they've done that. MSL used to be the B apartments player. He's now over playing towards A. Magic's a swap with him. And I think changes like that, they've got AZ with him at that A site, and Config on Catwalk. So, you know, they're pretty dominant towards and mid-heavy. And having MSL over towards A, he's not as aggressive as, say, a Magic's boy, but it might take away a bit of that B-App's presence, which MSL was known for. He would push in there and take a lot of control. So I'm interested to see how that plays out.
Absolutely, and I'm very looking forward to seeing Liquid actually play their own game, because what Zeus pointed out, they were trying to kind of outplay, out-mind game North instead of just playing their own style. And their style on Mirage is actually pretty strong. I mean, as I said, they're a very proactive team. They take matters into their own hands. They're dynamic. They're willing to fight for that mid-control. They're willing to make moves around the map on the CT side. On the T side as well, they're willing to take risks, you know, fake that mid-control and go for an explosive play, contact play towards the A bomb side. So things are good fundamentally for Liquid. They have some faults, like, you know, their default being pretty straightforward and maybe easy to counter. But if they can get off to a good start, they can definitely cause some trouble for North.
I don't see JDM getting shut out of Mirage as easily as he was on Nuke, right? Especially on that T side. It's going to be easier for him to find picks and hopefully have an impact. Something with MSL and the way that he calls on the T side for North, I've always admired it. I've always liked the pacing. It's all about getting mid-control first, establishing that early on in the first few gun rounds. And then from there, later on, you could just go and do site executes off the bat, or you can do explosions onto bomb sites while they're expecting you to do that mid-take off of the top mid-smoke and maybe 1 or 2 flashes. So it's something that you can, if Liquid aren't prepared for and aren't willing to be aggressive and set the pace on their CT side, they might actually be getting gamed pretty hard by MSL.
None of it will matter if the Liquid players do not show up. They need a big game. Like Yenko said, get started off quickly, get this crowd involved, get it loud. They need the hometown advantage. We're going to send it back over to Blue and Dazed.
Hey, thank you very much, Moses. Well, Team Liquid start off with what was a pretty bad first map. Now they're going to be on recovery duty for this entire second map, and this is going into North's map pick now.
Yeah, and I don't know. On Mirage, I worry a little bit about Liquid because just losing gun battles, right? They were losing so many gun battles, and even in spots where I thought they should win and be favored in the gun battles. And on Mirage, you could take a lot of T-side gun battles. Maybe not just rushing or anything like that at times, but you could, you know, after mid-control and whatnot, really take gun battles into your own hands. Well, as we see, Config is going to meet Nitro right here.
Well, now Nitro, he's going to immediately go down. We do want to remind you guys that the players are playing on Intel Core i7 processors, but as we do jump into combat here, Twist trying to hold on, gets himself 1 kill, but after he goes down, JDM follows through, and now it's just Elige and Stanislaw left alive here, and Elige tries to go for an aggressive play up on top of that smoke by Ticket, gets completely knocked out. Stanislaw attempts to do the same exact thing and gets destroyed by Config, giving North yet another easy pistol round with a 4K from Config as well.
Yeah. I mean, just obliterates Nitro at the start of that round, picks up the USB, and then it's all over from there. But that's what I was worried about, man. Like, the momentum and the confidence is just all on North's side. And Liquid, like, the struggles, right? A lot of them could stem from confidence. Like, we saw, like, a little bit of shaky play. You know, not being able to tap the bomb, not being able to break open the vents and things like that. That's all going to work against you, starting on the second map when you just lose pistol like that, where Config just runs out and gets a 4K.
So now Team Liquid putting themselves into the same exact boat that they may find themselves in back on Nuke here too. So we're just going to be working with the upgraded pistols again. A few players getting armor up behind it. Obviously JDM's not going to buy anything at all as he's looking for the op on the first gun round. But it's all quiet as North are also going to take this incredibly slow for the second round here. Just waiting it out, making sure Team Liquid don't try to do anything hyper-aggressive towards Underpass, the Palace, a few other key areas of the map that they could have attempted to push into with a larger group, but not going to end up doing that. They actually end up in a pretty static stack themselves across the map. They did have a player originally in window room. I believe that was JDM, but he's now going to join the group of B players. And with North swinging all of their players in the other direction, well, actually, there's great timing on this push into Palace. Now they have to get ready to hold the outer site, though, as the others are going to push in ramp and completely isolate this push, making it slightly meaningless unless they can successfully pull off the pinch now from that B-bomb site. North will move in, they'll get full control, and in a few seconds here, I imagine they'll just go for the bomb plant. All they'll have to watch out for is the lurk coming from the other side of the site. Even AZ going to move in from the backside here, picking up 1, almost gets that second kill, but it's held by Elige for now. However, they're now disadvantaged. They're down a player here, trying to work against it. They get aggressive, and MSL moves in to pick up another kill. You can hear that hop from Stanislaw, so he punishes him as well, leaving just Elige and Nitro in this fight. One from the flank that they already know about, but not just getting the open regardless. They're going to trade it out after that, though, and Elige moving in brings this down to a 1v1. He may very well ace this round if he can pull off this last kill. The flash in his face, but it doesn't matter. He takes down MSL and pulls off the full ace, the clutch against North, and bring this back to 1-1. Does he have enough time for this defuse, though? It's going to be close, and I think he's just going to get it in there. And with that, Liquid will indeed tie it up at 1-1. What an amazing round by Elige.
Yeah, just great stuff by him. The player at Sandwich not realizing the smoke is dissipated, just getting the flash kill, running out towards balcony, getting that kill. That was really nice stuff by him.
So just a crazy play from Elige propels Liquid back into the match, and that's exactly what they needed to kickstart themselves, as things were looking rough at the end of Nuke. But now with a play like that, they're certainly going to get energized, and hopefully they'll have their confidence back, and we'll get to see that a little bit more. But North is not going to take that too lightly either. They've just gone for the direct aggressive buy back into the third round, and they're going to try to counter out the successes that Liquid had just gained against their opponents here. Liquid still in a very similar stack to what we had in the last round, just 2-on-2 across the map, keeping JDM with a hold back over in mid. North are examining their options a little bit more this time, as they do have just trying to creep through Underpass. Besides that, though, everyone is basically sticking together on the ramp itself. So after examining across the map, they do decide on a strat. They decide on their execution point, and now they're going to move into the site here. Elige immediately flash back out and smoked out as well, so he's not going to be able to contribute much unless he decides to get aggressive. And that same fate will be had of most of the Liquid roster here. Great setup from North. They get in without losing a single player, and MSL even pushing through picks up the first kill of the round. Unfortunately, he's a tad over aggressive and finds himself dead just a few seconds later. We still have Magis to worry about as he's lurking his way back in from the other side of the map, and Cajun's even going to join with him too, so they can have a bit of a late pinch in through connector. That's going to be a big play that these guys may have to worry about. So Nitro spotting it, however, takes down Magis, leaving just 3 alive for this T side here, destroying the retake. Here's the surprise from Cajun, though, as he moves in. He's got the rifle in hand, but twists again with some nice kills. Config with 2 deagle frags out of nowhere, though. He just has to delay. His opponent's going for the defuse. He can't find that kill just yet. He's looking for it, but no! Twist is going to defuse inside of the smoke, and Liquid do indeed push through.
Oh my goodness, Config ends up with the knife kill at the end. Smart stuff by North, though. So anytime you're in that A-bomb site, MSL has had the right idea, right? You need to just try to get the numbers down. If it's 5v5 retake and they have nades, your chances of winning the round are just lower and lower. The more it turns into like a 3v3 or a 2v2, the better chances you have on that T side. And you see, because of that, they double flank connector like that. because they know if they just stay static, it's not going to happen.
So Liquid, now with control over this situation, they are going to still have to go up against another investment from North, as they do buy right back into it. Having themselves, well, a spread of all sorts of different weapons here. cajunB manages to get himself the op. Besides that, either on UMP's Galil's or the one AK that Config carries over after his successes, well, relative successes in the last round. For Team Liquid, though, they're going to find their first fight in a second, but it's one that they'll lose as Config lurks himself back outside of the palace just in time to be able to spot Elige, eliminate him. But hold on, there's a chance for the trade to still be seen, depending on if Config is going to end up checking for this properly. Elsewhere on the map towards A, Twist was able to pick up the kill on Easy, but JDM perfectly found, spots Config, and down he will go. No room for a response there at all. So North do fall into a disadvantaged position again here, especially after Stanislaw takes out Magic as well. Just 2 remain here for the North roster on MSL and cajunB. Both they're trying to play together. They managed to get window control, but that's really part of the map they have control of currently. There's not a lot of options. They need to still try to find a way to get this onto his site. With only 35 seconds remaining, they're running extremely low on time. MSL able to hop himself out. Some nice movement there. Gets himself into the top of mid at the very least. It saves quite a few seconds, but Cajun is going to try to keep a distraction here while his teammate works his way back in through connector. The site itself is relatively open, but they have players waiting in the wings, ready to surprise. JDM, though, missing some crucial shots with the rifle, and now leaves Twist alone, but he's still able to hold on strong, and beautiful spray control. Picks up cajunB and MSL to close out of the round in favor of Liquid.
Yeah, good stuff by JDM there. Getting on top of that platform, you're not going to expect that at all. That was really nice by him. Very, very clever. Just gets a free kill into config.
So off of that, they will finally break this T side and bring them on to just the upgraded pistol purchase. cajunB actually not even going to pick up anything at all here. Finally, some control maintained from Team Liquid as they look like they might have given up entirely at the end of the last map, but they bring it back strong, and so far they're looking good on Mirage, but there's still a long way to go in this half, and Config is going to find himself in an open battle with Stanislaw, which he'll win too. Nitro trying to trade it back, but he has a lot of pressure working it himself in his direction. MSL, Config both picking up kills. That clears out the site for right now. You still have Twist and Elige moving in for a retake, though. And with 2 players still working with pistols, there's definitely going to be room to bargain that these guys could actually push in and make an attempt at this retake. Elige first up to bat, moving himself in on Cat, and he spots the head of MSL, but he's been dinked down to 12 HP. And I think that in itself is pretty much going to kill this attempt at a retake. They'll fall away and let North pick up a round where they basically had nothing except for a few upgraded pistols.
Yeah, I mean, they really didn't even have any armor besides config and maybe AZ. Just like heartbreaking to lose a round like that. Just takes all this momentum and just out of your sails.
Just still going to try to hunt for Elige back over inside of that doorway. I think you can see it now. So he's going to try to move back in, finish off the job, and take him out of the round. cajunB actually swings in from the other side and steals that kill from him. But with the drop of that, it only leaves 1 player left alive at the end of it. Twist with an AK.
They do the double nades to nade deep. Like you see SK started doing that a lot with Taco and Cold to double nade deep, especially on rounds like that where it could be a contact play. But the nades usually come at 141, and config just runs in front of it essentially, and Stan's just not ready for it at all. Generally what you do is you see SK, they do that, and then Cold flashes for Taco, then he peeks, and that would have been a free kill if his teammate flashed for him.
So now Flash is affecting these CTs here as they do try to hold a little bit of mid-control. They do go for that big nade stack, and it works out perfectly. Drops the bomb carrier. AZ will find himself dead, and that'll be a little bit of an early advantage for Liquid to work with here, as they're still trying to keep themselves in this match. You can already see JDM down on just that P250 purchase, and the others barely able to scrap together a buy. But the good strat at the start here, the confusion at the bottom because of the smokes, allows them to take advantage, giving them an early kill on AZ.
That was so sick. They smoke like in the middle, and they smoke connector, and then they could run behind that smoke. And by that time, those players aren't at underpass either, so it just gives them, a clear path to nade back mid like that. Those type of clever things is why I always liked, watching Liquid and watching Optic play, because I thought Stan came up with a lot of clever things like that.
Well, now with time getting a little bit lower here, North is going to start to move in for another B execute, and they'll go right for it as well. Config leads the charge, but Stanislaw's here to resist this time. Nice double kill from him. Magic and Config now dead on the ground, but an even greater response from Cajun. It's not going to mean much, though, as he still has 4 more kills to grab with only 35 seconds to do it, and he's been pincered by 2 additional players. So Team Liquid are going to trade that round back and reset the losing bonus for North for a second time now.
Yeah, I think North will still buy here. They got 3 players around 5,000, 6,000. 2 players will probably be on pistols. But after Liquid makes it 4v5, they just play a very passive setup. They kind of let them commit. And Stan just holds very well at B. JDM boosting into the site. That's almost always going to be at least 1 kill.
Tech-9s for 2 of the players on North, so they are going to be slightly hindered in their ability to pick up kills in these situations here. But with the 3 AKs and the really decent amount of utility that they carry onto the table here, they can absolutely still make a round work. In fact, that flashbang did trick JDM, so one is now hiding in the smoke, but battle has already begun. Meanwhile, back out on the A bomb site, 1-for-1 trades between Elige and Config, leading to the death of obviously Elige and Cage and B as well. Even Twist going down to just 3 HP, trying to take some fights, so he's going to be pretty much out of the action here as he ends up just taking the bottom position of a boost up that they try to do towards the barrels. Looks for it and just barely spots Magic, tries to go for that second kill, and that's where he'll meet his demise. He does bring Config incredibly low down at 20 HP, but still loses that fight, keeping it slightly in the control of North for the time being. Even North, though, is not secure about that position, and they now hold on outer spots outside of this site, even having MSL still trying to play for mid. And Config, as low as he is, definitely not wanting to get into that site or into harm's way anytime soon. They need to pick up 1 more to secure that position, as otherwise, any move they make, especially with AZ being one of the few players in the site still at full HP, any move that the guys from North make would be a bit of a risk. Still trying to move in for this control. 30 seconds remaining now. They need to do this soon. MSL starts this off with a push in a window, and he picks up the kill on the Stanislaw. Is not expecting to find it there. In the meantime, quite a few of these players from Team Liquid did rotate in the other direction. JDM is still back over in the market, so he's going to have to make a move over towards this site if they want to make an attempt at this retake. But Twist's already low, and JDM having quite a bit to save. This would be a slight risk to try and go for this. Still unsure if they're even going to attempt it. It's not looking like it at this point, with Twist starting to fall back, and yep. It's seeming like they're going to give up on it and just let North win out the round. So they're going to trade it back and bring things up 3-4 as these teams are kept neck and neck.
Yeah, I mean, that's just like a rank S strat pretty much. Just full scrim mode. You just throw a top mid smoke. You have 1 player go middle. I think they sent 2 out the halls to a ramp. Config, again, gets 2 entries to force it into a 3v3. They just put on the brakes. They wait, they wait, they wait. MSL is able to kill Stanislaw in window. And that kill really, you know, kind of makes the round a lot easier for him.
So kickstarting North, keeping them back in the match here, as once again their buy is going to be back up to full strength, and Team Liquid are the ones trying to scavenge together decent purchase here as the Legion's up on a FAMAS, 2 more UMPs for Stanislaw and Nitro too. Well, JDM still has that op to play with, though, that he carried forward from the previous round, so they're still going to be working with that, and they take a much more active presence at middle this time. Could find themselves in an early fight as a result of this. There's a possible 3-man stack for North going to work in that direction. Magis knows he's dealing with pressure from the underpass, so he pushes right forward and eliminates Nitro, and the issue is, now JDM's trapped himself. He went down to fight and possibly trade. Thankfully, though, he's here, and Elige is assisting greatly from inside of the connector, taking down MSL and Config before JDM peeks in to pick up a 3rd kill. Cajun finds himself in the open, completely unaware to the fact that Elige had pushed into the site, so he claims yet another kill and leaves everything onto Magis to try and clutch this 1v4.
A little bit forced by North there after they get that initial kill. You'd expect them to kind of slow it down. Instead, Magic didn't see the leg of JDM. JDM an underpass, he gets a freebie. Oh, tricky stuff by Magic.
Smoke. So he's going to try to wait a few rotates over to the other side as a result of that smoke, but it's not seeming like it's really worked at this point. You still have a decent 2 or 3 players that can assist over here towards A. And he even gets the first spot against Twist. But Twist will net the kill, and Liquid now get to set themselves up for a pretty decent lead, 5-3. And more than likely, North aren't going to be able to fully invest here. Actually, no, they go for it again. They're just going to force.
Yeah, money isn't too bad on Liquid, though. I think they'd still buy, even if they do lose this round. So North's going to go for it, though. Tech-9s, an UMP, 1 AK. But yeah, I mean, it's 4v5, and it just seemed like they kind of forced it right up catwalk, and there's still a lot of mid-presence. Elige does a great job in the connector area, multi-fragging with the FAMAS.
North probably, again, going to end up in a very direct situation here as Nitro looks to defend on the outside. He does have support across the way from Stan, but he got hit by that molly, so it stopped him from jumping across into safety and killed him there. Stanislaw trading 2, now 3 back, actually, as a result of the Molotov on the ground. Well, good stuff from him in the positioning of it, and now JDM moves in. He's going to save the day with the up pickup, leaving just AZ alive in the 1v3, stuck behind the van as well. They've got the bomb on the ground, minute and 10 seconds to play with, so AZ does have essentially unlimited time to try and extend this situation, but he is going to focus on just getting that bomb onto the ground to buy them a little bit of extra cash here, and now attempt to make the clutch happen. Close quarters combat as he's sticking it in the sight and trying to fight one-on-one against these Liquid players. All 3 of them in the market and going to try to push their way back out. He has his first battle coming up here, gets that one, gets the second one as well. Now he needs to find one more, and he just pushes for free outside of the window, so JDM gets a little bit lucky at the end there that AZ's not paying full attention, but almost the 1v3 clutch would have been incredible for North.
Yeah, it would have. That was just crazy spray control by AZ, man. 4K on the round. That's twice now that Liquid at B just gets caught off guard. The B player just isn't ready around the platform in the van area at the timing that that North and MSL are just hitting the site.
That works out perfectly for them. I believe it is going to be North that call for a little bit of a pause here, as they are starting to fall behind. They really can't afford to just go for these forces round after round anymore. They need to focus on the long game here of actually trying to build up their economy, as this has basically just been scrapped time and time again. But no, once again, they buy into it. They're going to end up on another force buy here.
Yeah, I mean, they got 4 kills, so they know their money's really low. They know if they win this round, they're probably going to force them into a force buy or just an eco, depending on how aggressively Liquid wants to purchase. So that's pretty much why they're going to buy. And it's not too bad of a buy, right? You have 2 AKs, you have the 2 Tech 9s, you have a Deagle on Config. Although I wish Config had the AK right now. Like, this guy's just, it seems like he just wins every gun battle.
And back to the direct strats over towards A this time is probably where you are going to see most of North for the 10th round and a half. Trying to take some mid control too is going to be MSL, more of a distraction than anything, but if he stays alive and possibly picks up a kill there, he could act as a bit of a late surprise in through mid. Twist, spotted the first kill, great trade from Config, though, and even tags the second player. That's JDM going down to 64 HP, and AZ is bulldozing his way out. Well, he eliminates Elige here. Nitro still trying to hold from inside. They're able to keep this battle even, as we've seen on many of these rounds in the past, but with MSL pushing inside of the jungle area, he takes down Nitro, giving them a little bit of an advantage to work off and leaving just these 2 CTs over by Ticket to deal with. Stan is going to take charge as he takes the lead on this push, but no one from North needs to be paying attention, so he's going to walk right into a free kill against the Magisk. Now Config, along with MSL, will look to set themselves up to trade these kills. He finds a player on the box, but actually MSL comes out on the losing end of it, as does Config when he tries to peek. Liquid recover in beautiful fashion, and now end up with a dominating lead of 7-3 in this half.
Yeah, and games like this, you usually point to certain rounds that either like won a team a game or lost a team the game. I don't think that necessarily will win Liquid the game, but that could have lost them the game right there. If they would have lost that, they would have probably been on eco. North would have ended up with a really, really good T-side Mirage, right? But Stan, just 2v3, finds a little bit of a crack in the defense at that point, really, for the T's. Yep. And just kills that bomb carrier. And then they played it so well in that 2v2. JDM just covering him at halls the entire time. Stan not worried about it whatsoever. Able to just fight the jungle player.
And so we are going to get unpaused here. Get back into the matches for the first time, I think, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 rounds, for the first time pretty much this entire half. We do see North finally going into a full save, and they stop the forcing here as Liquid is starting to push it a little bit. Their money is still actually relatively low, as we do get a nice replay onto that jump up box there. But yeah, I mean, overall, Liquid's still looking relatively low in terms of their overall money, with about 1K or so for each player. I think one is up at like 5K, but that's pretty much it. Elige getting aggressive though, moves in, hunting down one with a chance at a second, and he succeeds in picking up that kill. Config and Cajun B down before the round really even gets started, and Twist finding a third. MSL out of the round. The last 2 Ts split up drastically across the map, with Magisk Boy way over in those B halls, and AZ, well, he's on his lonesome with the bomb there, trying to force himself into the A site so we could at the very least get a plant, but not going to happen. So again, you're looking at Magisk as the last standing player, who's actually doing pretty rough in this match at this point. Now 1-8 currently.
Yeah, but Norseman, whenever they just kind of 4 or 5-man take something right off the bat, I mean, at B, the 1 round they lost, you know, they did 2 rounds. 1 round they won with a deagle and full save, basically. The other round, they only lost the round because Stan got 3 nade kills. It was literally just Stan throwing his Molotov and nade that kind of won it, but they're getting into the sites. And then at A, they won the 1 round, and then that round they lose the 3v2, but you kind of take that. You're like, hey, I mean, it was a 3v2, we just kind of misplayed that. So we'll see now that they have a full buy if they're going to go, I was thinking, are they going to go to some type of a mid-take and utilize their nades a lot, or are they going to go into something where it's another direct contact play at one of the sites?
North have been big fans of this so far, and they're once again probably going to try to play into it. But look how aggressive JDM is being right up in the face of these players from North if they do attempt to push out onto that site. And he seems to be in a relatively good position. No one from North at the moment paying too much mind to that. So in they go. They peek into it, but it's only a leg from JDM. He's going to get knocked out without a single kill to show for it. Thankfully, he set himself up for a few, at least, and Twist gets the double. Tries to lurk out for a third, but he's trapped there after he finds those 2 kills. Inevitable that Cajun would trade that out. Keeps it even into a 3v3 as North do take control of the site, and they're going to have their room to flat in a moment here. But still lots of room for Liquid to also forge their way back into this match now. They have a flank working its way in from Nitro that you're going to want to pay attention to here in a few seconds, along with the usual brigade back over by the CT spawn that is going to try for a direct push on the retake. Not to mention that they actually have a very decent amount of utility just to retake this site with. Nitro being one of those players way back now, looking over towards Palace, and they'll go, but a great peek from Magus takes him down. However, he doesn't expect to find a second player, so Elige will catch the trade. Still being kept even, but now time is getting low. Liquid don't have any more time to waste. They need to get into this site and start the retake here. Elige is going to move up. They haven't paid attention to Firebox though, so Config with a cheeky one-tap moves in, finds the first pickup, and Cajun B rolls in for the assist on the second, as North will pick up their 4th round.
Just another heartbreaking round loss for Liquid because they mollied the firebox, but it just didn't cover everything, I guess. And Config's able to just find one little crevice that he's able to stay alive in. And I mean, when that happens, how are you going to win the round, right? You just expect a spot to be clear that a T's there. He's just going to shoot you on the side every single time. Yeah,
so ends up in a full bot situation still for both teams. So it's going to be North, well, after basically just trying to throw themselves at A for round after round after round, it's finally swinging in either direction. And at least at the moment now, most players are gravitating towards the B halls, but the bomb is still back, currently outside of A ramp. So I think this is more of an open round for North in terms of their strategies. Might try to play for picks or at least distract a little bit over here towards the B bomb site before they go for their actual execution, which is really going to be leaning towards either side of this one. I wouldn't say it's confirmed. I see North heading into A. Config just trying to make all kinds of noise inside of the apartments there. So clearing out an aggressive CT. Not going to find it this time, but Stanislav does take the bait and goes back in. So they know they're still having to deal with his pressure over there. And now smokes are going to start to broil into the site. This is when we really start to see things unfold here for the North roster. JDM peeking into it. Does spot the pressure working its way out onto this site, but unable to actually connect the shot. So far, everyone escaping these situations unscathed. And Team Liquid, even though they did cheat a few players over, they're now kind of going back into their standard spots. So it is... you're relatively equal across the map when you look at the way that Liquid have set up their own players here. But now, time getting low. North actually has to move into and execute here, and they're going to start it off in mid with Config picking up the first kill. It'll be traded out by Nitro, but then Config finds yet another frag, which will unfortunately finally put him to an end of his streak as he does push into Stanislav. JDM even finding the additional pickup against AZ, trying to push it to Palace too, and now the entire hit's been dismantled, but look at this, Magisk just found a free path into the A bomb site, has it completely smoked out too. So Cajun's gonna be able to waltz right over, put that plant onto the ground. He'll have, I think, an excess of about 2 or 3 seconds here when he actually goes for the plant. But Liquid only just now reading into this, they're gonna start rotating, meaning that these North guys have so much time to get into their post plants. Just look at how aggressive Magisk is able to be, pushing all the way out and trying to directly contest towards CT spawn now. We'll just hug up against the wall, and we're going to wait. Twist and Stand trying to push back in. They do line up. It goes 1 for 1, and now it comes down to Cajun to clutch this back out. CTs don't have utility to force him into the open currently, so he's safe, tucked away in his current position. Just has to wait for Liquid to move out. And he himself to try and find a few of these players. One on the steps, one back over by Ticket. Looking for one pickup here, but he's not going to be able to do it. Twists move in, secures himself his first kill on the round, and with that clutches it out. Keeping Team Liquid in the lead as they're going to push up to 9-4 as the scoreline.
Yeah, Liquid's had pretty good success on the A retakes. I mean, the 3v2 round, obviously, they didn't have the advantage or anything like that. That Stan and JDM won, but you could see the communication is really good there from Liquid. They did lose that round when they molly fire, but that was just due to like a bad molly, right? The actual A retakes are pretty successful and pretty well thought out by them.
Yeah, so this puts North.
I also want to say, Twist took a great route, by the way, at CT spawn. You see, he didn't just go straight across. He went deeper into CT where you actually buy from, and then that way he can kind of jump spot over the other thing, kind of deep if he needs to, and then see if anybody's there. So that was a really good route by him.
Twist continuing to show himself with a good style of play. Is one of the few consistent players back on Nuke that was trying to keep things alive for his team. And now, once again, he's going to start off in this round with the first kill through the smoke, able to spray in, finding AZ and immediately taking out one player from the North roster. Besides him, 3 more, however, were still able to make their way into the site, including Cajun getting into a very nice spot. Magic able to take down JDM, and Twist is looking for that trade through the smoke, but can't find it in its current form. Nitro keeping his team alive, and in this match, Config just getting destroyed through that ticket booth. Great spray from Twist as he picks up the assist on this round. Cajun, great timing on the play, but it's still spotted out by Stan, and now everything down to MSL, who's completely disconnected from all this action. They are taking quite a few moments to figure out that he's actually not in this site, though, so he can still line himself up. We've seen this before from a player, I believe Barbar did it, and now he's going to attempt to do it too, but a little bit too late to the party, and only lines up that 1 kill before going down to Stanislau after the defuse.
Yeah, so North continuing their just like direct aggression. Although the round before, when they did end up at A, where Cajun planted, that was a pretty like crazy strat, man. They throw stuff B, they leave 1 player B, he throws another jungle smoke. They have 1 player go out A, then they have 2 players go catwalk, then one of the A players goes back to B. It was like a pretty crazy fake. And they also waste the B guy's utility early in the round, so that was a cool shot by them the round before.
JDM gonna be able to challenge it, and he gets the double! Magisk and Cajun all dead on the ground, and now AZ too, with the Liege finding that 3rd kill. Config and MSL, the last 2 alive, but with a starting few seconds like that, what hope do they have now? A 2v5, they'll try to work their way out as Config looks for the trade kill, but he can't find it. Now it's just MSL, and he's in the same exact situation. Liquid looking dominant here on this second map. Not going to be stopped anytime soon, as they're likely to push up to 11, although MSL is going to make his best attempt to stop that. He's found 1 trade on a Twist so far. Long way to go, and he's not going to get very far. JDM with a beautiful peek shuts down the round and puts Liquid up to 11 to end the half. With that, guys, we are going to send things to a short break. So stick with us, and we'll be right back to see if Team Liquid can keep it together, or if North are going to find salvation on the CT side.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, Lenovo Legion, Xfinity, ESEA, Pay Safeguard, Mountain Dew League, Logitech G, and Zowie.
Well, make some noise, ladies and gentlemen, as we are back getting ready for the second half now of Team Liquid, who after a pretty pitiful first map recovered beautifully and end up 11-4 in the lead now for our second map on Mirage. Days, what do we see going into the second half here? What does North need to do to get back into it, and what does Liquid need to do to secure this map and take us to a third one?
Well, North needs to capitalize off their opportunities more. I mean, they lost the anti-eco, they lost the 2v3, they lost multiple post plants, and they also lost that round when it was 4v5 after that underpass player died. So they've had really good opportunities to have a really good T-side there, but just these little mistakes, big plays by Liquid players, good recovery by them has kept them in the game and got them into a really good half.
AZ walks right into that trap to start off the second half here. Nicely set up by Liquid. It's JDM that snags the kill, eliminating AZ and leaving just 4 up and running for that CT side. So they'll spread across the map. Still not reacting to that just yet, even though there is a very heavy stack from Liquid leaning over to this B side. They will have to send Cage and B into mid to kind of compensate for AZ's death now, as he still tries to scout and look for intel here. Very much an intel gathering game at this point due to how quiet Liquid is being. But now, with the man advantage in their favor, it seems like Liquid are going to be able to go very straightforward in this B bomb site, and it is spotted by Magus, so the rotates are going to be on the way at any moment here. Magus, though, picks up that first kill, gets the second before finally going down to JDM. The config, though, doesn't get anywhere with his position. Elige picks up that kill very quickly, and it still leaves Liquid with a man up after everything has settled. Cage and B, though, swinging in through the smoke. He doesn't seem to mind too much. He's already picked up one. He chased the second player into a position where MSL can punish that second one, leaving just Elige alive here, but he picks up one from the right side, looking for the second to the left, trying to spin around and keep his head out of harm's way. Survives that with just 14 HP, and now only 1 kill to go. Looks for it, and he grabs it. So Elige comes out with a massive 3K and keeps Team Liquid in the lead. They're going to push up to 12-4 to start off the second half.
Yeah, I mean, Elige was in a terrible spot there. He's completely pinched. There's one player coming from Catwalk, one player coming from the market. MSL just not able to connect on the shots, really. I think when he knew Elige was low there, though, he needs to start jumping. You know, you start jumping around the corners, not necessarily to land, but showing your shoulder and just getting vision, and then you can come pre-fire him with a body shot. It's usually like a pretty safe way to win those gun battles.
So now Team Liquid with their lead assured here. They just need to make sure that they don't get upset in the second round, since the North have gone for their own aggressive buy. And the player defending the apartments this time is going to be a lot more well-armed. Magisk just waiting in that position with the UMP trying to punish. The Liquid aren't going to bite into that just yet. They're also keen on the slower style of play that we were seeing from North back in the last round for parts of it. Willing to run down the timer and set themselves up where they throw everything at one site, which could be heavily stacked from North. Cajun's going to get hit by this flashbang as he does try to fight for some of this contention that's being taken by Liquid now. Ultimately, though, it's far too long gone after he got hit by that flash, so he does have to bail out and take up another position. At this point over on the A bomb site, kind of floating in between, leaving his options open. You can see he's going back to market now, so a little bit of indecision there, but it's kind of going to be the player he has to be now that he's lost his window spot. Config, though, with a nice lineup, just barely peeked into Nitro yet. He's able to find the Deagle headshot, taking out one player from Liquid right at the start of this round. Liquid, though, with time getting a little bit lower, they are going to start to move into position to go for this execute out onto the B bomb site here. And Config looking for some more frags. He's done it, picked up the second one, looks for a third, but finally going to be punished by Elige. And Stanislaw also picks up his first kill on the round. Cajun looking to do some work with the scout here, but not a whole lot being given to him currently. And it's all safely tucked away behind that wall, and as you can see with the X-ray off, Cajun can't really spot much besides that, so just hoping for the repeat, but not finding it, and Liquid now hunkering down. There's the shot from Cajun, though, able to find Stanislaw, taking him out of the mix, leaving just 2 up and running for Liquid. It's a little bit delicate for them, especially with Elige playing into this aggressive position, trying to hunt down AZ. He gets it, but now he's low at 15 HP, tries to escape, but MSL holds. Look at this spot from Twist, though. He's maintained his quietness all this time, and he just has to line up 2 more kills. There's one looking for the second one, but he can't get it, and MSL holds, giving North their 5th round.
I mean, that could have went even worse, though, for Liquid. Like, normally, Magic's Boy is going to get that kill on Stanislaw jumping down with the ump. Config, again, makes it 3v5 with his Deagle. You know, puts him in a chance to win the round. I know it goes into a 3v3 there, but this guy's just on another level right now.
And that is going to keep North in this match here, as the scoreline can no longer push into a nearly secured position for Liquid off of that one, but Liquid also are going to look for the aggressive buy going into the 18th.
I mean, Config's like success rate on opening gun battles is ridiculous this best of 3.
I mean, it's like he just randomly shows up and just starts killing people left and right there. You don't even seem to expect it from time to time. Speaking of not expecting things, look at this aggression from Team Liquid. Elige right into the fight. Back over by Connector here. Unfortunately, it's short-lived with MSL and Cajun are able to push back in and restrict that pretty heavily. But with all the attention that's been drawn over towards the ramp area there, it's leaving quite a few holes in the defense. North are just barely able to hold on to it with Config once again saving the day.
Yeah, he is ridiculous. Stanislaw got into window completely unnoticed. Could have flanked all those players in jungle. Opted to wait for the CT spawn kill and gets that. They still should have won that round. Config just whipping his mouse around. Just killing everybody. You saw how the rotate was, though. They gave up A and challenged Connector and just fought middle and let them A players essentially take towards A and then reacted to it afterwards.
So they're just barely able to keep themselves alive as a result of that miscalculation. But now Liquid's going to keep things a little bit more straightforward. That's a great shot from Stan, though. Through the box, takes him down. Unfortunately, it's not going to mean very much at the end of the day. They do escape with a plan, which is a pretty big get. However, besides the kill on the MSL, they don't really get anything else going. So North will shut it out and pick up their 7th.
Yeah, a bit of a mistake by MSL. I think when you're the A player and you cross over to Connector, if they see you cross Connector, Twist is going to do that mostly. You know, most of the time, go out to Tetris. And then if you're crossing back to triple like that, it's just really dangerous. Like, Twist could have just headshotted him while he was crossing back. I think at that point, you got to just adjust and be like, all right, look, we don't have a player CT spawn, whatever, let's just deal with it. I'll play A from, you know, jungle, stairs, Connector area.
So off of that, we do get to see Liquid go back onto another full buy here. The strats are going to remain relatively straightforward. Not going to be doing a whole lot of toying around with mid this time. They feel confident in their ability to move in and puncture the A bomb site. And the setup actually could work out pretty well in their favor based on the way that North are currently playing it. They got MSL aggressively posted, meaning at most, we should expect him to get 1 or 2 kills and then be traded afterwards. However, he does have support from his teammate. MSL and AZ both trying to battle this out, although they've already lost AZ. MSL trying to assist upon that, but it's actually Cajun doing most of the work from way back over at the steps. MSL goes down without a kill to his name on that round, but nonetheless, Liquid have secured the site. They've smoked it back off and are going to be cautiously looking for the opportunity to go for that plant, since they've also kind of been surrounded by North here. Thankfully, for Team Liquid, North are taking a little bit of a pause in this retake as they're waiting for Cajun B to get into position on this flank. But JDM is already read into this and is currently going to contest it, taking the peek and looking for him, but no, he goes down, not expecting Cajun B to be already that far forward, and now Stan has to put all his attention to countering this out. He succeeds, ends that danger for now, but that's opened up a whole new issue of possibilities as he's just going to get smoked out. And he's going to try to fall back here. No, he doesn't have the time now.
I thought he was going to find some crazy molly that was going to molly triple right there. That would be really cool.
The problem with trying to molly that is it would have taken like so long to just get on the ground.
Well, I mean, he's going to lose anyways if they lock it, right? Because he's going to be going through a smoke, so maybe just molly it and hope by the time they get back on it, the smoke dissipates.
So he chooses just to keep his gun in check for that round instead of contesting the 1v2. That will give North another round here and continuing to close the gap. They'll end up 8-12, just 4 rounds behind Liquid. They're back into this game and they're wanting to end this 2-0. They don't want to take this to a 3rd map. So into the next round, we will find ourselves in JDM immediately impacting here. Almost able to take down MSL, but he ends up clipping him through the wall. So MSL will survive with 39 HP and just fall back into a more normal position. Cajun, though, having much better luck with his op work. Takes the risk on being out in the window. He has support from his teammate to watch the upper push, but still exposed. He's able to find an early play from Elige to go through underpass and punishes him to give North the early 5-on-4. AZ going to be next up to bat, trying to stop this upper mid play. However, he misses it. Now off of that, Stanislaw is able to move in, steal connector control out of the hands of North, and pick up that trade kill to bring things down to a 4v4. Stan looking to do a little bit more than that, though, with the molly moving into his direction. He needs to get out into the open and fight regardless. MSL will just burn him away. They get rid of that worry for right now and retake that connector control. Liquid have pretty much frozen after this, keeping JDM back by the chair and a few more players still set up to execute. But the bomb still has to relocate, and that is causing a slight delay. And it gives North the time to just pop in this smoke. It's a pretty poorly positioned smoke, though. Twist can still abuse that pretty heavily from his current spot on the steps here. And I imagine they're not going to be too worried about pushing through that. I'll have to check this left corner, though. MSL is going to be waiting patiently for it, and they don't do it. So MSL shuts down the main pushing force. Nitro and Twist dead as a result of that. And just JDM left alive with only 25 seconds to make a play or get this bomb onto the ground. It's looking bleak for Liquid here. And more than likely, you're going to be looking at a North round or excuse me, a 9th round for North. JDM trying to fake it up. He gets that kill on the MSL, but afterwards will be pushed from the backside by Config as he closes out on the round.
Yeah, and they just leave Magic's play on an island at B. They don't even challenge him at all. Liquid doesn't, and Config's, you know, around middle. Cajun B can peek underpass. They have 2 players dedicated at A. You have to, you essentially, if North is going to play like that, you have to put B pressure so that they actually have to at least play, you know, towards catwalk instead of just being in the middle, where Config just loves to be. But MSL played that so well. When he mollied connector, he showed himself and then hid, knowing that Stan basically had to commit himself to the fight and inside the Molotov, and then just literally gets the kill without even having to, you know, risk his life at all. Just like the safest way possible.
So quick pause, I believe, from Liquid. And they've already called for the unpause, so we're going back into the match immediately here. Liquid, unfortunately, still really not in an economical position to go for a full buy here, so they are going to end up on Tech 9s yet again. Everyone except for Nitro is able to... Actually, no, Nitro does go for that last second buy there, so everybody is going to end up on armor. Utilities where things are really lacking, though. They have a couple Molotovs, a couple smokes, and they're going to be able to make pretty much as their direct play happen, as you're seeing now, with a 4-man stack at ramp, and one going to divert over towards the Palace to try and just add a little bit of flavor to this push. Now Liquid get ready to just move in. No delay needed here. Flashbangs raining down on the site. MSL holding first from the sandwich, and this cross spray is beautiful. However, it only leads to an even trade, 2-on-2. Now Stan is going to rush up and get that plant, and the Opper is going to be repositioned here. Cajun B specifically going to be put into the open as a result of that molly.
Twist does have a molly for the post plant, but this is still really, really CT-sided because look at their utility. 3 smokes, 2 Molotovs. That's huge right there.
Yeah, they can throw 1 molly back over at the Tetris position there and basically burn out 2 guys right from the start. But one's been wasted over at Firebox. So now they need to position the second one cautiously, and that one is also essentially just going to be a waste as it does go down on the ground, buys them the security of that real estate though, and now as they move in, trying to get this defused, they are trying to force it in, but Stan can't find those last bullets, so another smoke defuse. This time it's North that win it out, however, as they pick up a 10th round off of that.
Yeah, I mean, the mollies don't hit anybody, but it's not really a waste because you're clearing a spot with 0, like, worry about it, right? If somebody's there, you're going to get the kill. If they're not there, you know the spot's clear. It just opens up, you know...
Limits the possibilities.
Yeah, exactly. Just makes it so much easier on you. And that's why that A site, that's why you see North on their T side, whenever they got in that situation, they kept flanking and trying to do things like that.
So, Cajun first up to bat here, and he legs one. That's Stanislaw going down to 16 HP. AZ, no one checking for him, though, despite the fact that he was completely blinded on that push. Stan's going to attempt to respond, but Cajun B, right in the nick of time as well, picks up the upshot, eliminating Stan and leaving himself with just 8 HP, killing most of the early efforts from Liquid to try and, once again, brute force towards A. So it now just leaves these last 2 alive. And we'll have to attempt to make a play in the 2v5 to clutch things out.
Yeah, opting for just a quick A split. AZ hides in the corner. Unless you check that fully, you know, obviously that's going to happen. No molly connector or anything like that, which allows them to be there without even a smoke on the ground. And you saw North rotate even was insane. Man. Like, they had 4 players there almost immediately towards A. So I think even if they do get a couple kills, I'm not sure if they win that round. And that was like a perfect opportunity for North to, you know, adjust their setup like they did. They weren't playing AZ at A. They were fighting middle towards connector because they stopped a couple of these quick A plays. So the adjustments from North are on point. Puts him into a 2v5. Config's going to be jump spotting.
I haven't seen it yet, and when he finally does, JDM is ready for it. Picks up the kill on Config. Only the first of 5, though, since North is still at full strength currently. Magus lining up Twist from behind JDM and pretty much having him secured as well with only 20 seconds left. JDM, I think, was just hoping for 1 or 2 more kills, but can't find it. And North do secure the round. 4 players left alive, which is definitely going to help to just push this money forward into a great spot for the rest of this half.
Yeah, you see Fur play that spot all the time. He usually plays it like after they already took mid control, and it's a very sneaky position. AZ playing there. The Silence M4 too. Silence M4 is a lot easier to see it as well. You can see it, and he can't see you if you're at the bottom left of the connector, but you know, with that quick A play, that's not going to happen.
So Cajun, almost missed the chance. Even probably just a leg there on an opponent, and missing another shot as well when they finally do move in to get that top mid control. So Liquid will just walk away with it. Have that early ground to work with here. But this is only the beginning of it. Still a lot more framework to set up to get themselves out of mid and into a bomb site. As a few of their own players are still being kept in the back lanes away from B, which are now going to swing in the direction of T-Spawn. And I believe over towards ramp, but North even took aggressive control of ramp while Liquid were pretty much ignoring this earlier. MSL is going to be waiting for these players to swing themselves into the site, and even though he's positioned well for it, he can only knock off about 60 HP of Twist before getting eliminated by Nitro. That's opened up the possibility for Team Liquid to move themselves into this site, but it's not going to be a free battle anymore, as Liquid really don't have a great amount of smokes to deploy onto this site, so they do leave a few holes open with that. There's a trade that works its way back in on the side of Cajun B. Magisk is hoping for a little bit more himself as he is boosted up along the barrels. However, no one from Liquid choosing to play into that, choosing to push up aggressively. They're all sticking pretty passively back over by the ramp area of the site after they get that plant onto the ground, and are just going to focus on that in the post plant. The real kicker here is going to be a Liege still waiting inside of Connector. That can definitely hurt this retake if he pushes in at the right time. However, it can be just as easily countered out by AZ, swinging around through the other direction here and putting it down to the ground. Twist eliminated. The second player on Tetris does throw them for a ride for a second though. However, he's only able to get that one kill, and JDM can't even seem to find his way out of the smoke currently. And when he does, just shut out by AZ as North once again, nearly a flawless retake, and this is going to tie them up at 12-all.
And again, that's why you see North flank like that. You know, that exact reason. They already had a Liege lurking, yes, but they had no type of nades. They had no positioning. They knew nobody was firebox or default because of that boost. All they have to clear is underneath balcony, and the only places they could be are sandwich, A ramp, A halls, maybe under balk by the ladder, or flanking. That's it. So it just makes the retake so easy, and especially when you save that many nades and molotovs. Even though it's 4v4 and the bomb's down, it's extremely CT-sided unless a Liege goes huge.
Yeah, and as we saw, Liege pretty much was made into a non-factor right from the start of that retake. So very well read by North yet again. And ever since jumping onto this CT side, it seems like the game has flipped in the complete opposite direction, with Team Liquid really struggling to pick up rounds on this T side to push them up to 16 and try to take us to our third and final map here. So into the fray again. Liquid will go with a full buy and splitting their players up also at the start. It's been a similar thing to what we have been seeing for most of this half. With guys moving in to take that mid control. A little bit delayed they'll be on that though, as actually Stan does divert away. We'll end up grouping with a Liege in the B halls, but the other three here in Palace and Ramp are already satisfied by going for smokes and whatnot. Now the Ramp players are going to get countered out, as you can see on the Molotov, but the Palace player can still try to move in. This is Twist too. He's the big man on the field. He can try to move in and get some work done here if he'd like, but seems to want to delay it until that molly goes away. Config next up the bat trying to spot this underpass play. This is going to be a little bit on timing though. He did miss the boost up inside of the window room and misses that shot on Stan. Stan gives him the time to recover, and he hits the shot through the wall. The next one tries to finish off with a P250, but he can't get it done. And now Elise jumping back up. He hits the next entry. AZ though with two beautiful headshots. Swings that back into the other direction, going for that third kill, but he is taken down by Elise here, leaving just Magisk and Cajun in this situation to try and retake here. Magisk gonna walk himself into a potential frag on Stan, and he succeeds in picking it up. So once again, finding themselves down at a 2v2 advantage to North. But the possibility for this flank is still huge as Twist spots Cajun in the corner, just trying to distract here so we can let Elise get into position, but the counter flight from Magisk is just perfectly timed. Spots Elise and now leaves Twist alone in this 1v2. Hiding on the site in the open, just ready to take any battles that would come his way. Unfortunately, he goes hunting for it, and with that, Cajun is able to hit the final shot, now putting North in the lead at 13-12.
Wow. Just all the mid-round kills North gets. That was so well played by Magic's boy, waiting for the window lurk there, covering Cajun's back. I thought Elise was going to win that round for sure. I didn't even realize Magic's boy was just watching that, waiting for it. AZ saving the round in the 3v5 by getting these two kills. Even the kill that traded onto AZ was really risky and dangerous. He was completely open to CT spawn. Just fully committed.
So Team Liquid are going to have to empty out the bank accounts, essentially, for this next round here, as it's been a full-on streak for North. Full losing bonus for Liquid, so as long as they can get a plant, they'll still be okay to buy pretty much every single round from now on. But with North having the lead, those opportunities run out really quickly.
Yeah, I think this is 3 rounds total on T-side that they've won against North.
Yeah.
Am I right? Going back to Nuke?
Mm-hmm. I think so. Elise going to start us off with the first nice pickup against AZ, unfortunately. Like many of the attempts from Liquid to make these heroic plays here, it's short-lived, and it gets countered out just a moment later by Cajun B. Still holds pressure inside of not only the window, but he's also trying to play over here towards the steps too, supporting MSL a little bit. He's currently alone on this A site, and that is something that North are going to need to change quickly, because they're even pushing aggressively. I believe Magisk is pushed all the way through the apartments at this point, so they should know for sure they probably aren't going to have anything working its way on B.
Yeah, and MSL, he's going to be a big player in this round. He has Hall's control. We'll see how Liquid deals with him. They don't have many nades, though. Just one smoke onto JDM, one molly onto Twist. You assume none of that's going to be into A-Halls. So Cajun's going to be CT spawn. He's going to try to bait for MSL, and we'll see if MSL could shoot 1 or 2 in the back and maybe even stay alive.
The other problem here now is North. All right, they haven't seen anyone swing their way towards B, so they are going to rotate over to this A site in just a second. Flashbangs from the CTs is great. Cajun still trying to hold from up on top. He just clipped one of the players, but that gives himself away. So JDM is able to pick up that kill. MSL's got to be very careful about the timing he goes for on this peak. Finds himself in a direct battle against JDM, but still wins it out. And Stanisla's aggression is able to keep Liquid alive in this round as he pushes up, finds Config trying to flank. MSL almost actually taken out by Twist here. Seems like MSL's almost smoked himself off. But in the meantime, MSL wastes this time. Magisk is going to start to also lurk upon his flank.
Yeah, Magisk has to get this kill, then MSL will make his move. Twist, great shots by him.
He holds it, and now MSL's alone, really with no room to get anything done there. Nitro's going to shut it down. Finally, after 7 or 8 straight from North, there is a little bit of light left in Team Liquid as they tie it back up at 13 rounds.
Yeah, now they just got to not get reset.
Yeah. That's the ever-living struggle here, as they obviously keep the win bonus going in their favor, so they build up enough cash to rebuy again here. But
yeah, North doesn't have any money, though.
Yeah, I think at most, the players the most they had stacked up, there was like 7 or 8K at one point. They never really got super far with it. There was always decent trades from Liquid. It was like these mid-round heroics that kept saving North after they went down so far in the round. But early on, North, once again, taking an aggressive stance on the wrong part of the map, leaves this A site wide open for the taking. Utility setup is great. Elise should have been dead there against AZ, but AZ can't keep it together. A bit of a miscalculation, though, leaves an opportunity for Cajun B to pick up an extra kill against Nitro and brings things back down to a 3v3, as North will have all the room and all the time now to set up for a retake, as the bomb is only just now going down, but it gets denied again by Config. There's a slight error in the smoke setup, so he's able to utilize that. Unfortunately, Config gets aggressive, goes up those steps and peeks directly into JDM's op as things are kept even. Now the last two trying to play it out from Ticket. I don't think Stan was able to hear that drop down there, so they should still be good on that, and JDM just barely missing the shot against Magisk, who will go down seconds later regardless at the hands of Stanislaw. Everything falls to Cajun B in the 1v2 clutch now, and Stan is already looking for the possibility of a push from the connector itself. Cajun holds it though, but still finds Stan in the open. That's a free kill for him. Only one more to go against JDM, but JDM fighting from Firebox. He's gonna have a little bit of a surprise against Cajun B in a moment here. Cajun still tries to work for it. Keep in mind, the bomb only just now went down, so he does at the time, but spots JDM, and JDM through the wall takes down Cajun B to put Liquid back in control now with a 1-round lead on North.
Just huge by JDM. That was probably the most important round of this game. And he comes through. I mean, North has no money, man. 2,600, 2,800, 2,200, that's it. So they're going to have to decide if they want to buy here or just go for overtime and try to force that. And you'd think they'd have more in the bank after winning 9 rounds in a row. But, you know, every round closely contested by Liquid, a lot of kills, a lot of buys because they just had money bonus and we're getting bombed down a lot of the time. Great shot.
North do decide to buy here, which is actually not too surprising when you consider how aggressively they bought for most of the first half. So they are going to end up trying to make an attempt at this one, but if they lose it, they're going to end up with pretty much the same amount of cash for the next round, and Liquid will then be at map point to try and take us over to the third one. But into the round we go. 2 rounds separates Liquid from defeat. Possible third map to push them forward into the grand finals here. Cajun, decent spray, but just not connecting most of those shots, unfortunately. Leaving only Nitro getting hit like once or twice down to 87 HP. Everyone else completely unscathed. Stanislaw picks up that first kill, but it's at a heavy cost. Nitro is able to push back into JDM. A shot to the face of MSL. AZ responds with 2 additional pickups, but that's been it so far. And Elige with a long-range spray control shuts out Magisboy, leaving Team Liquid at 15 rounds, and North with not a whole lot of money to play with.
That's a ballsy strat by Liquid, going for that quick A connector play in a round like that where you're going up against umps and whatnot, and they could be maybe double connector, close A ramp, and things like that. Works out for him though. The smoke wasn't even that good. That was a very crucial frag onto Cajun B, I believe it was, when he ran through that smoke. If that doesn't happen, AZ probably lives, takes A ramp control, and we could have saw something completely different.
Mirage makes an attempt at some early round aggression here by pushing himself through the underpass. Unsuccessful, and just gives away his position. North just trying to play all for mid in general here early on in the round, but that's going to change pretty quickly with the other three rotating back towards... actually, they're kind of going all over the place right now. A few into A, and a few more going back over to B, which until just this moment was completely open for the taking if Liquid wanted to swing towards it. Liquid taking things a lot slower this time. Fast strat really only going to work once. North did try to set up to counter it there. They're even going to be cautious of aggression on the ramp here, as you can see them starting to swing in there, but the CTs obliged with a smoke toss out in an attempt to delay this for a couple of extra seconds before the inevitable should swing itself in the direction of North. They still have the 3 players right around the B halls, however.
I think they wanted to show bomb at A and then go B. I think that was the plan.
That's exactly what they're going to do. The bomb now back over here in the B halls. There's still a 2-man setup from North to try and defend this with the third already on its way in the form of Cajun B. And they're holding close to the wall outside of the apartments, which is the main route that Liquid are taking. Excuse me. I think they only have 1 player at most. And actually, no one's going to work themselves in that route. So North have a really good setup to counter out here. But Nitro is going to try to make his best attempt to hold on. As Twist also picks up that kill. Cajun B trading another one back. Puts this down to a 3v2. And Nitro just got shot down to 27 HP. He's hunting Cajun. Can't find it, though, as he finds a 3rd kill now with that CZ. Just Elige left alive here. Set him in a 1v3. Completely surrounded. And North are going to get to keep it together. We go to round number 30 to settle this.
Yeah, I am not sure what the strat was from Liquid there. I mean, they have 2 players alone with the bomb at A ramp. They know that they're force spot, right? Like an A ramp push is very common with CZs, 5-7 or something like that. I really think they wanted to show the bomb at A and then just run it back to B. But by the time they fought at A, they didn't cause any rotate. North still had full vision of the A site and everything. They just run back to B, meet up with their teammates, and immediately go. But it's like the most obvious thing for MSL to call. He's just nobody's coming A, man. Like I have everything. I'm looking everywhere. There's nobody here. Just over-rotate. Cajun B makes a great play running to site. I believe it was Magic's boy at Van. He probably could have got more kills, but just going to Van because of the botched molly after that allows him to get a free kill. That's twice now that botched mollies from Liquid have given North just free frags.
Yeah, so look at this buy for Liquid for the 30th round, too. This is actually not looking too great. Twist ends up on a P250. It's the best they can get for him. And for the others, well, they managed to get an op for JDM, 1 more rifle on Nitro, and then the other 2 are just working on ups. They're, again, going to spread their players out early on. The 3-man push into the B halls, and JDM looking for that opening shot opportunity against Magis. He's almost able to hit it, too, on the 2nd attempt through the wall, but just not going to connect there. So Magis spots the opper, pushing forward, and then backs out for now. But he'll go right back to jump scouting, or jump spotting for that a few seconds later. So Liquid are still trying to figure out exactly how they want to play this. The bomb's still way back over side of the T spawn. However, this is quickly evolving into something very similar to what we saw from the last half, into now something very, very direct towards that A site. The underpass push gonna crunch here in connector, and the other 3 getting ready to push themselves out into the site. But look at how well North is set up for this. 4 players all ready to stop this hit should it come this way, and that's going to be what we're seeing in a few moments here. Stan trying to start it off, but even Cajun waiting in the window for that boost up there, counters it out. A trade from Elige, and Elige with the 2nd one. He's the only one keeping his team in this match right now as he swings around the back of the trip stack for a 3rd kill here. Trades from the North side, however, are still able to keep them in this round as they bring it down to a 2v2. But at the moment, the real story has been Elige. His time to be running out, though, and Twist just up on top of the steps, gives his life away. Elige so low at 8 HP, and now he's been given away. So Config's going to push forward, pick up that headshot, and we're going to overtime, ladies and gentlemen.
Config again, man. They were actually set up perfect for that round, by the way. North was, just positionally speaking.
So
yeah, I mean, they had 2 players in connector, 2 players towards A, and what's the strat? They try to boost up window, Cajun B's right there, Config's in connector. Those 2 kills are easy for him. And then they still have 2 players at A, right? Those 2 players at A normally get more kills than that. The setup didn't work out that well for them. They only end up getting 1 kill. But tactically speaking, they were in perfect spots. And you know why? It's because the 1 round that Liquid went B, they lost to the CZs and the umps. So you know what MSL is saying? It's like, they've gone B 1 time, and they lost to our force buy of CZs. They're definitely not going B again. And that's why they overplay A like that.
Yep. So into overtime we will go, ladies and gentlemen. Standard rules, MR3, 10K start money for both teams. Let's take a look. As 19 currently is the magic number to win out on this map. For North, it means a grand finals position, and for Team Liquid, it means they get to stay alive and fight again on map number 3. Let's get into it. As Liquid are going to push themselves and just go directly for top mid control at the start. They have that usual safety smoke set up here too.
Yeah, just a default. 3-1-1. They haven't really done this too much. Most of the time it was more like fakes, contact, you know, more direct plays and whatnot.
North isn't even really contesting it to start off with either. They're focusing much more on the sights for this round. Already with 2 over towards B and 3 in the general direction of A.
This is the first time we're really going to see Liquid have a mid control where they're going to be able to take, you know, connector control with the top smoke and the window smoke, kind of peek towards catwalk. If you're a Liege here, you have connector control. You really can do whatever you want. You see they're just going to go directly into an A play after that with 3 A ramp, 1 A halls, and 1 lurking connector.
Config and Magisk, however, are getting a little bit aggressive about their positions, and it works out perfectly for them. Config able to spot a Liege being boosted up on top. The catwalk Tetris position, taking him out. And Liquid have already been hindered here. Now, wow, AZ just spotted the whole hit, so there should be rotates on their way. And he's second now. As MSL picks up a second, AZ just doesn't even care anymore. Pushes him to fight against JDM and succeeds after he's already taken down Nitro. Twist, the last man standing, but not for very long, as Cajun peeks out from Ticket and gives North the early overtime advantage.
Well, after Config kills the Liege and connector there, it's just a direct tell. He's like, hey, nobody's coming catwalk. There's a player in connector. If they took mid control and wanted to go to B, there'd probably be a player in ladder room or catwalk and not connector, right? Or at least both. Instead, you know, he just kills a Liege. He's telling his team, yeah, they're probably coming A. That's why you saw MSL immediately like throw a smoke and just get ready for it.
Oh, still full investment for Liquid for right now. And they're back to just these direct strats. Look at this, 4 players pushing out directly into A with 1 diverting from the Palace position. A lot of focus on that Palace spot though. AZ just tagging a player while completely blind and then finishing off the second one. Tries to follow through on that spray, but Twist is gonna take him down before he completes it. Config moves in, finishing off AZ's work from just a few seconds before. And now Cajun B back into the fray, down to 1 on Liquid. It's just a Liege in that 1v3 situation to try and play this out, but he's stuck in Tetris, completely blinded. It's an easy kill for the guys on North to grab as they take their second round here on their CT side of overtime.
I mean, Config's the cat player. He's all the way in connector, killing people while they're taking towards A. They have Cajun B in window, who's also helping them. They're going into 4 A players almost every single round that they hit A. But they just have to put some type of pressure at B. They have no presence at middle, so they could just lean towards A. MSL and AZ are just already there off the bat. Like, rotationally speaking, North, I mean, clearly are the favorites in all these rounds, and should be.
And so for Liquid, they do end up on a scrap buy as their money's run out for that 3rd round here. Trying to go for top mid control, but Nitro jumping behind the top boxes with no additional support is an easy pickup for Cajun B to grab. Beautiful shot from him, but regardless, Nitro just giving himself up there at the start of the round, and it's another 5v4 advantage for North. Liquid, however, at the very least are able to transfer this over into the B bomb site as they're now going to swing back in, going 1 for 1. JDM and Liege working together to eliminate Magisk, completely overwhelming him, and Cajun still in this site, but completely out in the open. That's where JDM's going to be able to put together another kill. Only 2 remaining. Scratch that 1 now as AZ also goes down to a Liege. Just leaving MSL in this situation to clutch it out. Spots JDM, uses so many bullets to get that kill. And now going to run out of ammo. So give time for Liquid to set up to completely counter him out. And it's Stanislaw that finds the last frag, keeping Liquid in this match 16-17 at the end of the first half of OT here.
I mean, back when they have 3 players at catwalk there rushing up towards catwalk, like positionally speaking again, they really had no business winning that round. They just hit a nut shot on Magic's Boy. But if Magic's Boy just stays alive maybe 1 to 2 more seconds, the rotate's going to be there to market, to spot catwalk, and then once that market player shoots, Magic's Boy can just freely out-aim them. Just got a little bit too eager there. And because of that, they were able to come up catwalk and actually win that round. But, I mean, positionally speaking, like North is way ahead. They just kind of won a miracle there, in my opinion.
Yep. And so going into this second half, Liquid, if they want to end it here, they need to win all 3. North only need 2 out of these 3 rounds remaining. And obviously 18 is the tie point if they both want to go for double OT. But North splitting their guys up early on and wanting to play around the map a little bit more here. As it's just MSL out towards mid, and he is going to halt himself for a second. AZ, if he moves forward and isn't heard, he could do some massive damage here. Nitro goes for the check, though, and succeeds on picking up that kill on AZ. So 5v4 advantage right now seeming to favor the CTs. But MSL going to try to change his luck as he just uses his own smoke to pop his way right through on the Cat, and now go for the crunch on this B-bomb site. Stan, right now the only player here to defend, but Magus Boy in a terrible position, so he just leaves Cajun out to dry. Elige also rotating through Market to pick up yet another kill. MSL, the only man standing now, and he's got a 1v5 to play against. Got one, he's got two, but he's also down very low, and Twist waiting in the market doorway. He's going to finish things off, now tying us at 17.
Yeah, Stan on that balcony once again. The last time he was there, he got those 2 kills with the ump, won the round for him, and you know, they didn't even have any support because Nitro is usually their catwalk player, and he was out towards middle. He was, you know, obviously peeking towards underpass, but Stan just with a great V-hold. Gets 2, stays alive, moves towards catwalk, just stops down the strat, or stops the strat by himself pretty much.
JDM does have a little bit of a hole in the smoke to try and abuse if North will attempt to go for that early control.
Yeah, look at Liquid's positioning, right? Stand on catwalk, nobody towards B, 2 players middle, 2 players close A.
Right now, if North continue on this same path, they're going to walk into an absolute slaughter at the hands of Liquid here. So North will have to see out their best bet. This one, JDM missing some crucial shots up close, and Elige was hit down to 14 HP. Stan gets caught trying to jump, leaving towards the window room there, so he'll be eliminated by Config. And now they're down to 3 remaining. Twist needs to come out huge here, but he can only get 1 frag. Elige, the last man in the site. Nitro, way back over in jungle. He's completely surrounded by North players. So a big mess up, despite the setup they had, has left them in the open, and North possibly to push up to match point.
Config's just going to shoot Nitro on the back.
Actually, no, Nitro spots it. So he does pick up that frag there. Tries to go for a second one, as now he's lost the lead. It's just Nitro left alive, but that pickup on Cajun keeps him in the match for a little bit longer. Unfortunately, stuck in that corner, so ultimately, Magus does finish off the job and put North into position to close out of this match and secure their spot in the grand finals.
Yeah, that was nice by Magic's Boy. If you saw when Nitro was in the corner, I think he just held mouse 1 so that he literally just can't peek. If Nitro tries to jiggle peek, he's just going to get hit. Can't peek at all. That's going to give his teammate time to come and just, you know, pinch on him if Nitro decides to peek him after his bullets run out, or if obviously if he peeks him while he's spraying, he's just going to get the kill.
Liquid just go all in on this round, though. They've got the double op setup coming out of nowhere here for these guys, as Twist will pick up the second one, and 3 rifles besides that. Early on, though, totally still looking good for Team Liquid here. I've been baited into using too much of it early on. North did take top mid control. They are posturing up to go for just that direct A play that we've been seeing quite a bit. A little bit heavier towards mid this time, though, if they do follow through on it. Elige is going to be first man at play to try and stop that.
Yeah, almost no mid presence. This, AZ should check this.
It's going to move in, spots his shoulder. Now just needs the angle to close out so that he doesn't peek into him. There we go.
Yeah, that's not when you play that angle. You don't play that angle in that position. You wait, and you do it mid-round.
So off of that, Elige goes down without a single trade to show for it. Twist will pick up 1, but remains on top of the ticket booth. Config even following through off the kill on Twist. He takes down the second Opera as well. And with Magus knocking out Stanislaw, it's looking like North, ladies and gentlemen, may have just secured their playoff spot for Nitro. He's alone in a 1v4, hoping that Magus would overcommit and he could punish some of that pressure from CT, but he's not biting on it, so now he needs to worry about this retake. He's even given North all that time to set back up, so in he will go, trying his best to spray through it. Now he's given away his position. He's lost the element of surprise, picks up that first kill, trading out towards the AK. He's running low on time, and he's not even close to knocking out the remaining players. The Magus Boy wraps around from the backside, and with that said, North are going to close out. 19-17 is the final score on map number 2, and they'll take it 2-0, pushing forward into the grand finals tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, JDM had that great 3K to bring him into overtime, but that last round, I know we weren't watching him. He was responsible to cover Twist when that player came out of halls, didn't hit that shot. The A-ramp play, when they came out, he didn't hit that shot at all. He was 0 for 2 when he played up close A-ramp. So, you know, those are opportunities that Liquid have to win rounds. Just got to capitalize off your positioning, right? You're there, you're posted up with an op, just got to hit the shots. Yeah,
and with the way that things went over on map 1, things didn't really start out great for Liquid here in the series. They had a good bounce back in the first half of this map, but then just couldn't carry it through in the second half to close out of the map. Ended up in overtime, few good rounds, but at the end of the day, North ended up taking it over them.
Yeah, I thought Liquid had a lot of opportunities especially in that, like when they had 5 players in middle or in A, right? They just completely read it, and still North ends up winning that round. So maybe just in overtime, a little bit of jitters, not sure, but at the end of the day, North comes through.
Well, now the real question here is, how is North looking overall? How are they looking to face off in the grand finals against G2? Is that going to be enough, or is there some mistakes that they have to fix before tomorrow?
Well, I think on Mirage, they can't get ecoed on that second round. If they don't, a couple times on that T side, they could have easily had more rounds and whatnot. A little bit of small mistakes by them. So I think they could play better than what we saw even.
All right. Well, we do have an interview ready on the stage with our winners. So let's throw it over to Golden Boy.
Thank you so much. All right, I'm joined by Config. Config, congratulations on your victory. Hard fought, especially on that game in Mirage. First and foremost, so I do want to get your thoughts here. Going into it, Nuke, that was Liquid's pick. You guys, though, absolutely dominated that game. How did you feel coming out of that one?
We felt really confident. We hoped to, like, Mirage would be an easy match for us because we were really good on the map, but it didn't work out that way, but we managed.
Yeah. Now, here's the interesting thing. You know, you have been playing some phenomenal CS, and some are saying that you're playing the best CS of your career. Do you agree with that sentiment, or do you think you've always been great?
I've always been great. No, I think that I play good CS right now, but I still make mistakes. I think everyone does, even though the best team in the world makes mistakes, so you can play perfect CS.
Now, what was interesting as well about, you know, your guys' picks and whatnot was you went with Mirage. The analysts talked about how they weren't so sure about that pick on Mirage because Liquid was a pretty formidable team on that map. Did you pick it because you just felt like you were better in that situation, or was it more or less just like, hey, this is a comfort pick for us?
We choose maps because it's our comfort picks. So if we play Mirage, then it's because we're confident on the map. So we play all our confident maps, and that's just how we play.
Nice. Now, you guys had a pretty, I would say, partisan crowd here, you know, going against you. There was also some shade being tossed on the other side, some shooting of the bodies, you know, a little disrespecting, as we call it. I do want to get your thoughts. How was it playing, you know, here with this crowd and the pressure on you?
It's okay that you guys are against us. We still love you.
All right, and one final question here. Kenny S., he said that he wanted to face you guys in the finals, and he was very, very confident. He has some choice words, dare I say. So what are your words for Kenny S. and G2, who you're going to be facing off against tomorrow?
Good luck, Kenny. I'll fuck you up.
Oh. Whoa. Dear God. Okay, I'm getting it's getting a little hot in here. I'm going to let you go ahead and do your thing, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, that's conflict right there. But when we come back, we're going to break down the gameplay and all that good stuff. Thank you so much for sticking with us, and we'll see you in just a few.